Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to 20 Minutes in 2020. And I hope you all had a nice Memorial Day weekend. It was, I had a chance to go outside, and as I was walking around, there was some really pretty views, and I thought, oh, I'd like to take a panoramic picture right now. And then as I was doing that, it occurred to me last week, I'd spoken a little bit about expansive containers and thinking of what containers that we connect with in nature, and that we ourselves are containers that are able to hold everything that is happening in our lives. And it occurred to me, why do I feel compelled to take a panoramic picture? I don't feel like that when I go into my closet. That'd be actually a little weird, right? If you're like taking a panoramic photo in your closet. But then it occurred to me that because of that sense of expansiveness, it's like, oh yeah, I want to capture this. And I was just, I just thought I would bring that up today for you to think about if there's any place, that you really like, and do you have a picture like that of that place? And if you don't, maybe that can be one of the things that you can do, seeing that the weather is getting nicer, and to be observant in that way. Like if you're outside, where do I feel, oh yeah, this is really awesome, and I just want to capture this expansiveness. And in the same way that we can do that with a device, it's the same way that in our practice we're cultivating that spaciousness. And this particular topic of expansive containers seemed to resonate with a lot of people. So I actually got a lot of questions offline after I posted that session. And one of my friends, she asked me a question. Oh, where are my notes? Okay, she asked me, like, how can I connect more with my element? Because her element is air. Oh, that's what she identifies with. And she was asking, what can I read and what should I do? And I'll just kind of give a little context here. So I work a lot with water when I swim. And so that's why she asked me that, because she knows that I have like a water practice almost. And it was an interesting question because I thought, oh, what do you mean, what do you do? There's no book that tells you what to do. And it made me think of like how dominant our left brain is. It wants to analyze, it wants to know a process, as opposed to activating more of that right brain sense of just being open to experience. So I wanted to bring that up, and in terms of connecting with whatever that container might be, that's really in essence an unfolding, a very personal unfolding that no one can really give you direction on. And that's actually quite, I think, profound and beautiful, because we're the world that we live in is so left brain dominant. So that's just one thing that I wanted to bring up, like in terms of connecting, that's your own practice and your own unfolding. And I'll just share, for example, one thing that water has taught me. So I swim a lot, and when I'm in the pool, I feel like I'm in a completely different realm, because my orientation, I'm now horizontal. I'm not existing in the world as a vertical being. And so you can feel the water supporting you as you swim. And it occurred to me that as I'm swimming and I'm being supported by the water, in other aspects of my life, there's all this support that I'm receiving that maybe I'm not even appreciative of or aware of. So I was like, oh, okay, so I'm swimming in a sea of compassion. So that's a thought that comes to me very often when I'm swimming in the pool, that there's this compassion of the world that's supporting me all the time, whether or not I'm aware of it or attuned to it at every point in the day. And that had happened for months. And then it changed one day when I went to the pool and I was swimming and, feeling the water supporting me. And then the thought changed to, I'm swimming in a sea of self-compassion. So then the compassion isn't just outwardly what other people or, what I'm feeling from others, but that there is that own self-compassion within myself that is supporting myself. So I just share that with you, just to demonstrate how the more we interact with that container, the more I think wisdom opens up from it. So I encourage you, now that the weather is beautiful, to get outside and connect with your container and see what, and play around with it and see what happens. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I just wanted us to start by setting an intention. So, go ahead and you can either do that mentally or you can do that physically by writing down things. All right, go ahead and get yourself in a comfortable seated position, or you can be lying on the floor if you prefer. Anything that feels good for today. Notice where you make contact with the earth. So whether that's feeling your feet on the ground, feeling your butt on the ground, feeling your back on the ground. And just take a minute here to notice how your body feels being supported, and honor that recognition. Feel a sense of heaviness where you're making contact with the earth. We're just gonna slowly turn our attention inward to the breath. We're gonna just start with a couple couplets. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Let's just take a few rounds of one breath meditation here. So nice full inhalation and exhalation. We can do that again. Inhalation and exhalation. And on this last one, we're rolling our shoulders back a little bit, opening up the chest area, and head slightly or gaze slightly upward. Go inhalation and exhalation. Say hello to your breath. What shape does your breath take today? Is it like a balloon? Is it like a rubber band stretching? Is it an expansive area? Is it like the sky? Is it like the air? Is it like the sea? We're just going to work with the breath a little bit here. So take note of how long your in-breath feels. And then on the out breath, make it slightly longer. You don't have to be strict about measuring it. But we're just slowing things down for ourselves just a little. I'll leave you here to sit for a few minutes and you can practice whatever you like. All right, so we're starting the wind down of our practice. Take a moment here to savor these last few minutes of your sitting today. What does it feel like to really appreciate these last few moments of your practice? Are you impatient and just ready to run off to the next thing that's on your agenda? Just play with that space a little bit in terms of like, this is my last sip. Let me really enjoy it before I move on to my next task. Okay, so you can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, bringing awareness back to the body. You can slowly open your eyes if you want. Let's just put one hand on your abdomen and another one on your heart area. And we'll take a few rounds of breath here, feeling our breath, feeling our heart. Just express a tender appreciation for our bodies that support us during the day and during the night. And feel those two sources of vitality, your breath and your heartbeat. These two rhythms that are in us. It's almost like we have a little band inside there. Take a moment now to dedicate your merit and to revisit your intention for your practice today. All right. Thank you for your practice today, and I'll see you next time.